central objective or central purpose of Sharia, what is called Maqasid Sharia, is actually can be summarized as facilitation of ease and removal of hardship. Jalbul maslahah wa dar'ul mafsadah. So you attain what is good and then you remove what is harmful.
Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. Welcome to today's forum discussion. We'll be exploring how the principle of Maqasid al-Sharian can be integrated into infrastructure development policy to promote inclusive human development in developing countries. Start with our first question. Sophia, can you share how can the principle of Maqasid al-Sharian be integrated into infrastructure development policies to promote inclusive human development in developing countries?
This is a great question. Answering that question, I'm referring to the article by Ola Dapo and Rahman 2016. They argue that in many developing countries, infrastructure is often focused on boosting the economy, but it doesn't always address people's real need, like access to healthcare, education, and better standard of living. That's why the Maqasid al-Sharian framework is important because it emphasizes social justice, human dignity, and sustainability. One of the main principles in Maqasid al-Sharian is Hifz al-Nafs, which is about protecting life. This means that ensuring that everyone has access to basic necessities like clean water, sanitation, and healthcare, so that people can live a dignified and meaningful life. The framework also promotes fairness and equality. Infrastructure development shouldn't just be about fancy buildings, it should also help reduce the gap between different groups, like by improving public transport system for everyone. Oladapo and Rahman also highlight the importance of choosing the right types of projects that are in line with ethical and social values, like supporting halal industry and using Islamic finance to avoid riba and promote fairness. Plus, involving the community in planning and decision making is crucial so that projects really fit the needs and culture of the people. Lastly, sustainable is key. Infrastructure should not just focus on today's need, but also consider future generation and the environment. For example, using eco-friendly materials and renewable energy can reduce pollution and create healthier living space. So, in short, by following the Maqasid al-Sharian principle, infrastructure development can create a fairer, more inclusive, and more sustainable future for everyone. That's all from me. Thank you.
That's really interesting, Sophia. Let's connect this to the education infrastructure next. So, Adam, can you explain how does Maqasid al-Sharian aim to establish equality in education system?
Yes. Okay, thank you, moderator. To answer the question, I am referring to the article by Ahmad Ismail titled Maqasid Sharia and Safety Aspects in Infrastructure and Health of Education Practices in Malaysia. They explain that education must align with the 5 principles of Maqasid Sharia, which are Ad-Din, An-Nafs, Al-Aql, An-Nas, and Al-Mal. In the article, the authors explain 3 principles of Maqasid Sharia. Firstly, Ad-Din is preserved through the integration of Islamic teachings in school or universities. This helps students build a strong religious identity and moral in their learning session. As we know, Malaysia is the majority of Malaysian citizens are Muslim. So, according to the authors, they have made a research. The Malaysian education system includes activities that promote Islamic knowledge and values in line with the national education policy and the Malaysia Education Development Plan. Secondly, for preservation of An-Nafs and Al-Aql, emphasized through safe and healthy learning environment. The authors highlight that infrastructure must support students' physical and mental well-being. For example, research by Lewis cited in the article found that poor air quality and buildings can harm students' health. For example, they must make sure the building materials is aligned with the COP, so that materials cannot harm the air in the surrounding. So the students will learn in a peace moment. So this is why building safety and maintenance are crucial. Additionally, in preserving life and intellect, Malaysian government, especially education part, inclusive programs like pendidikan khas for the special needs students to ensure the equal opportunities for all, so all of the students and Malaysian citizens can have education in their life. So to conclude my points, as Ahmad Ismail stated, Maqasid Sharia helps to ensure that education is not only to transfer knowledge, but also to protect life, faith, intellect, and prepares future generations to serve both Islam and nation. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's move on to the next question about a real prosperity and justice in infrastructure. How to create state prosperity, not just accumulate wealth by exploiting human and natural resources.
Okay. Actually, this is a very relevant question. Actually, in many development countries, government often promote economic growth by defaulting, meaning and using cheap labor. While this must can increase GDP in the short term, but in the long run, they may lead to widening income gaps, environmental population, and social problem. Regarding this issue, we can refer to study by Kusan et al. 2022. A discussion how Islamic principle, especially the concept of Maqasid al-Sharian, can offer a better way to good development. In the article, they reviewed chapters sought in Islamic development. He believes that true development isn't just about make money, but about enabling everyone to live a life of a safe and hope environment. Chapter emphasizes the objective of Islamic law, Maqasid al-Sharian, which are 5 core values: the religion, life, intellect, posterity, and wealth. This means a country's development should include building mosques and religion schools to ensure freedom of belief, contributes the hospital, and providing clear water to protect people's health, promoting education by establish school and libraries to enhancing the knowledge, supporting family and children by setting up natural access and mental health center, and protects the personal property by establish fire law and economic system. Furthermore, chapter proposed 6 elements: Sharia, society, government, justice, and development, and the wealth. He believes that only when the government is just, society is moral, wealth is distributed fully, and development focus on people's well-being can a country achieve the true prosperity. In summary, the article clearly showed that true national prosperity must be based on Maqasid al-Sharian, promoting the overall improvement of morality, finances, fairness, and society welfare, building a moral, just, clean, and sustainable society. Such development is sustainable and more in line with the core value of Islam. This is my part. Thank you.
Thank you to all of you. Finally, let's talk about healthcare infrastructure. Aisha, how does Maqasid al-Sharian influence the creation of healthcare infrastructure to harmonize accessibility, affordability, and Islamic bioethical standard?
Alright, I would like to share insights from a journal written by Noor, 2019, titled Bioethical Inquiry. This article or journal explored about the critical relationship between Maqasid al-Sharian and the development of healthcare infrastructure, especially in terms of accessibility, affordability, and Islamic bioethical standards. Therefore, the authors of this journal highlight that Maqasid al-Sharian focusing on protecting 5 essential elements of human interest known as al-Daruriyat al-Kasham. This include religion, life, age, intelligence, and property. This framework guides the creation of a healthcare system that prioritizes the well-being of individuals and communities while also aligning with Islamic ethical value. According to the journal that I chose, when healthcare policies adopt this framework, they promote inclusive access to medical facilities regardless of socio-economic status. This is crucial or important step in declining or reducing the healthcare inequalities and ensuring fair treatment for all. In terms of affordability, Maqasid al-Sharian encourages us to end a system that does not impose financial hardship on patients. It supports a balanced and sustainable healthcare model that protects both life and property. This journal also emphasizes the role of Maqasid in addressing or combat with modern bioethical issues. For example, in evaluating new medical technologies, the framework encourages decision-making based on how these technologies affect the 5 key elements. This ensures that human dignity and well-being are protected in every medical choice made. A practical example discussed in the journal is assisted reproductive technology. The Maqasid framework provides guidance on how to balance personal aspirations with societal responsibility, helping to navigate ethical dilemmas in a way that remains true to Islamic values. In conclusion, the integration of Maqasid al-Sharian in healthcare promotes justice, compassion, and ethical consistency. It helps develop a system that not only meets the needs of individuals, but also supports the wider goals of society in line with Islamic teaching.
Before we end our discussion, I want to add some important discussion by Harjoni et al. 2024 about how can we fulfill our worldly needs while still being mindful of the ultimate goal, the afterlife. So first, we need to understand our purpose of life. Islam categorized our life into four key areas. First is Rubbu al-Ibadat, which is our relationship with Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala. Even with busy with worldly matters, we must never lose our connection with Allah. The second one is Rubbu al-Muamalat, our interaction with others. Fulfilling worldly needs must also include social responsibility and ethics. The third one is Rubbu al-Munakahat, family relation, which remind us that building a righteous family is part of our worship. And the last one is Rubbu al-Jinayat, which means the rules around justice and protection. Second is balance in resource and spending. That means that we need to avoid extravagant and practice moderation consumption, because when we can manage our consumption wisely, we not only protect ourselves but also the environment and others. The third one is economic activities should also reflect our faith. For example, avoiding riba, supporting fair trade, and giving back to the community are all practices that align with Maqasid al-Sharian. As mentioned by Harjani, we should always think, this business or action bring barakah or just a profit? So by fulfill these economic activities, we can protect our hifz al-nafs, hifz al-mal, and hifz al-nas. The fourth point, which is preserving human dignity and intellect. A clear and healthy environment contribute a mental clarity, emotional peace, and good decision making. This supports hifz al-akal, the protection of intellect. That's why pollution and stress and harmful industry are not just environment issue. Lastly, maintaining our ecosystem is a part of our ibadah. When we care about the earth, we are fulfilling the duty to take care of the creation of Allah. Every small action, from recycling, planting trees to minimize waste, become a form of worship when we done it with the right intention. Show our awareness that this world is a test. How we treat Allah creation reflect our red line for the afterlife. In conclusion, Islam does not separate dunya with akhirah. It teaches us to balance both. By applying Maqasid al-Shariah, preserving life, intellect, wealth, lineage, and faith, we are reminded that our everyday actions are not just temporary, but the investment for the hereafter. That's all from us. Assalamualaikum.